A pyramid in Antarctica, a buried civilization, something they don't want you to see. But here is the thing, the shape is real. It's just not a pyramid, it's a mountain. An unnamed peak in the Ellsworth Mountains. You can literally find the coordinates. So no, this is not a structure. But if the city part is fake, why does the story keep coming back? Because what's actually under Antarctica is weird enough on its own. And once you start looking at that, the Lost City version just sounds like the easy version. Forget the pyramid. The real reason this myth keeps coming back is the ice itself and what's under it. Most people picture Antarctica as this giant white blank spot. It's not. Under that ice is a whole continent, rocks, valleys, basins, even whole mountain ranges. A real landscape buried under ice that can be miles thick. And a lot of that landscape were never found just by looking at it. Scientists had to piece it together with instruments, ice-penetrating radar, gravity data, seismic surveys. So this was never one huge dramatic reveal. It came together slowly, a little at a time, until the shape of the land underneath started to come through. And when it does, it doesn't look empty. It looks like a place, hidden mountain ranges, deep basins, long valleys, drainage systems. Even the Gambrestev Mountains are down there, a huge buried range under the East Antarctica, roughly the scale of the Alps. We mapped all of that from signals, not sight. That's the biggest part of why this myth works. Because once people accept there is a whole continent under that ice, hidden ruins stop sounding impossible. Not real, just easier to picture. Then there's the part people really latches onto, water. A study in Nature Communications described an ancient river, cut landscape preserved under East Antarctica. And that matters because it tells you Antarctica has a before, not a city, not ruins, a past, a time when parts of this continent were never buried under the ice we know today. There was exposed ground, there were terrain, there was a landscape that had time to be shaped. And this is where people's imagination starts moving. Because now the question changes. It's not just what's under that ice. Now it becomes what was Antarctica before this. And to be clear, that is deep time geology, not human history. And this is where the story starts drifting. Because once people hear ancient landscapes under the ice, the evidence stops being enough on its own. People start adding things that were never there. In deep time, Antarctica was not always the frozen place people picture now. Scientists have found evidence of ancient forests, vegetations, and a much warmer climate, not recently, not anywhere near the human civilization, but real. That's the correction that matters. The Antarctica we see now is not the only Antarctica that ever existed. The ice feels like the whole story because it's just the part we see. Geologically, it's the top layer, a huge one, an ancient one, but not the whole story. And once that really sinks in, Antarctica starts to feel different. Not like some blank frozen edge of the map, more like an older continent, hidden under the versions we know now. That's where this myth gets stronger, not because forest leads to cities. They don't. Because once people realize Antarctica used to be something else, they start wondering what else used to be there. The lost city story doesn't come back because somebody finds a city. It comes back because somebody finds an image, a sharp peak, a clean face, a satellite shot, with just enough symmetry to start the whole thing again. Because once Antarctica already feels ancient, buried, and half hidden, people stop seeing scenery. They start seeing intention. A ridge looks built, an angle looks designed, a shadow starts feeling like a sign. So why does the mountain look like a pyramid? Because nature can do that. Glacial erosion can carve steep faces. Weathering can sharpen edges. And from that right angle, a peak can look weirdly man-made, even when it's just rock and time. So yes, the shape is real. The leap is the problem. And even after that leap falls apart, the story keeps going. Because by then, the image is doing more than making one claim. It's matching the mood people already have about Antarctica. So the image doesn't have to prove the city. It just has to feel like it belongs. Now take the claim seriously for 10 seconds, not as a mood, as a real place. Stones, streets, people, an actual human-built city under Antarctic ice. The problem is time. Homo sapiens shows up around 300,000 years ago. City shows up only in the last few hundred years. But the Antarctica's deep ice story is massively older than that. Could Antarctica have looked very different in the distant past? Yes. Could parts of it have been ice-free in ancient periods? Yes. But that still does not get you this: a buried human city under miles of ice. With no clear archaeological evidence, the timeline just does not line up the way the story needs it to. That's where the city falls apart, but the mystery doesn't. Because once you remove the city, Antarctica still doesn't become normal. It gets stranger. There are lakes under the ice, real ones. Lake Vostok, Lake Whillans, and hundreds more mapped across this continent. And Lake Whillans is not just a name on a map. Researchers drilled through the ice and found microbial life in the dark subglacial environment. There are mountain ranges, valleys, and buried surfaces we know first through signals, not direct sight. And that is a strange way to know a continent. Parts of the continent still under miles of ice, and the first way we reach them is through the radar returns, gravity readings, and traces on the map, not by standing there first, not by seeing it first. That's what keeping this myth alive, not the city. The feeling that part of Antarctica is still there. But we only know it indirectly. A city is easier. A city is familiar. It gives you walls and streets and something human to hold on to. But real version is less comfortable than that. It's buried continent, an older landscape, a place where we know in fragments. And that's the part people can't quite let go of. The city story is fake, but the buried continent is real. And the real version might be stranger because it doesn't give you one clean answer. It gives you pieces, signals, outlines. Not because anyone proved a lost city, but because Antarctica is weird enough to make bad explanations feel convincing.